How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store has kicked off Wave 2 of its summer sale. Yes, thousands of deals have been added. Do keep in mind, you still have another day or so to take a look at any of the deals that have already dropped that are ending. Some deals are lasting until the end of the entire sale. However, some deals are rotating out here soon. I think you'll have the rest of today and tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. They're ending fairly soon. Just jump on those as soon as possible. That's why sometimes the summer sale gets a little confusing because it does have this, 2 weeks of a certain amount of sales, then 2 weeks later another portion of sales get added. Some of them rotate out, but some of them are available through the entirety of the sale. I think it would be best if they just do a 4-week sale, leave everything on sale, or have games get added at the 2-week mark, but don't rotate games out. That's just my 2 cents. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm using the PlayStation Store website. It seems like they're prioritizing the new deals as far as what they're showing me. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Doom the Dark Ages, 25% off for $25.49. I really like Doom the Dark Ages. It's just $52 and change for a Doom game that you can complete in like 15 or so hours. Look, I'm not gonna be the person that's gonna be like, game length is super important, but I get for a lot of people it is, and if you're spending north of $50 on a game, that's gonna be something you think about. Although, a lot of people are excited for Mafia the Old Country, and that game will probably be 15 hours long. But nonetheless, I had a good time with Doom the Dark Ages. Would I say spend this price point on it? No, I would say wait for $30 or less, but I did have a really good time with it. I thought the game was enjoyable. Didn't really care for the story, more so about that chaotic gameplay. Not as crazy as Doom Eternal, but I actually thought it was a good approach to the game, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. $52.49 on that. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, you guys, might be the best deal in this entire sale. 50% off for $35.49. This deal is insane. Phantom Liberty typically goes for $30. It has been on sale for like $21. Cyberpunk 2077, the base game, has hit a brand new historic low price at $18. It is available on PlayStation Plus Extra, but here you get the base game and the expansion. $35.49 for that is stellar. I highly recommend that. You guys know me. I might end up being known as the residential Cyberpunk glazer in a decade from now. Will this dude just shut up about Cyberpunk? I mean, I was that dude for Witcher 3 for so long, but man, my love for Cyberpunk, I just love this game so much. I like the world of Cyberpunk even more than I like the world of Witcher, and I think Witcher realized it better. I think Cyberpunk, we're still at the very infancy of what this overall world develops into, but I think the ceiling for Cyberpunk is so high, and with Edgerunners Season 2 coming out, with a sequel confirmed to be in development, we're in good times. We're in good times. And in 2020, it didn't look like good times were ahead, but now good times are in fact ahead. $35.49 for that excellent deal. Arma Reforger, 20% off for $32. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the Vault Edition, is $65. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, 20% off for $48. That is the deluxe edition, by the way. That's why, the base price is $60, but yeah, there you go with that. GTA 5 $19.79. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, 25% off for $67.49. If you're a Plus subscriber, you'll get it for $63, which, given the KCD2 expansion pass, I want to say is what, like $25-30? That's a pretty good deal. It's just, with KCD2, I've said it before while I've sung the game's praises, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into with that game. Some people will absolutely love it. Other people will get to the gameplay and they will be, they won't be crazy about the gameplay of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I still think overall it's a really worthwhile game, and I wasn't crazy about the gameplay, but I think from a historical setting standpoint, I think from an exploration standpoint, and when I say gameplay, I mean combat. Like, the exploration and all that is really well done. And the game has an insane amount of depth to it in terms of how you can handle situations, how you tackle situations. It's really well designed in that regard, and lends itself to being incredibly replayable. I would say for this price point, it's a decent pickup. You'll get the DLC that is still coming out, and not a bad deal whatsoever. Red Dead 2 Ultimate Edition, $19.99 on that. Y'all know how I feel about Red Dead 2. Give me that upgrade, give me that Switch 2 port, and we will be golden as far as Red Dead 2 is concerned. First Berserker Kazan, 20% off for $48. I just beat this game. I don't know what possessed me. It's a little bit of a quiet time for for new game releases, and I was like, you know what? Let me play through a game that I didn't get to earlier this year. And First Berserker, Kazan, and Atomfall were two of like the notable titles that I've missed this year so far. So I decided to go back and play through First Berserker. I literally beat it a couple days ago over the weekend, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like I've said, Souls-like games are not my cup of tea, and I definitely have my issues with it just fundamentally, but that's just my issues with Souls-like games. I played it on the easiest difficulty. See, I'm not gonna be one of those dudes that feigns that they're good at games or whatnot. Y'all better at Souls-like games. Congrats, bro. You can have this one. I hope that lets you sleep better at night, that you could beat every boss like my buddy in Elden Ring without doing any summonings or anything. Oh, congrats, bro. Congrats. I hope you live a happy life. I played it on the easiest difficulty. I wanted to take in the spectacle of some of the boss fights, the soundtrack, which I think the soundtrack for some of the boss battles is awesome. One in particular, I was like, well, wait a second. This boss battle is kind of epic right now. Art style is awesome. And overall, had a decent time with the game. I'm not blown away by it, but if you're a Souls-like guy, you'll enjoy it. $48, a little bit pricey for me, I'm not gonna lie. I would spend like $25, $30 at most, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Wanted to ramble a little bit since I literally just beat it and it's fresh in my mind. Dynasty Warriors Origins, 25% off for $52.49. Look, I love that game, but at this point, we're 6 months removed from the release of the game. I would wait for a deeper discount. It is a great game, and it's honestly one of the better games I've played this year, but I would probably wait for it to be a little bit cheaper. But if you're a Dynasty Warriors guy and you haven't picked it up yet and you like that Musou-style gameplay, man, this is a really good one, and I would recommend it. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, $32.49. That continues to get cheaper and cheaper. I feel like every time I see it go on sale, it gets a little bit cheaper and a little bit cheaper. It got down to 40, then 35, now $32.49. Once it gets down to 20 bucks, I'll recommend it all day. $32.49, still a little bit out of my price range. Beat that game as well, did really enjoy it. Ninja Gaiden 2 is a really solid game that has some quality of life improvements, but still, you know, it's Ninja Gaiden 2 at the end of the day. It's gonna be a little bit dated, janky camera and all that, but had a good time with it. Can't wait for Ninja Gaiden 4. Pal World, $22.49 on that. You've heard me talk about that ad nauseum. Hitman World of Assassination, $28 on that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is $42. Obviously, that's a great deal. One of the best games of 2024. Forza Horizon 5 Deluxe Edition is $59.99. So they had the base game and the Premium Edition on sale. Now they have the middle edition, the Deluxe Edition. And the Deluxe Edition of Horizon 5 is honestly the worst one to pick up. Either save the money and get the base game, or spend the extra money so you get the 2 expansions and get the Premium Edition. The Deluxe Edition, in my opinion, is kind of worthless. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Premium Edition is 30% off for $70. This will get the Rise of the Giants expansion that I believe is coming out in September. So that is included with the Premium Edition. I really liked Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. $70 is a little bit too much, but I did really enjoy it. I would say once Indiana Jones is down to like 20, 30 bucks, maybe even 40, it's well worth the pickup. The game's a lot bigger than I think people realize, where you have these more open sections that you go to, and there's side activities and things of that nature. But if you want to do everything, like, it can be a 30 or so hour experience. So, you know, with the Rise of the Giants expansion, hopefully that is a little sizable as well. But yeah, I would wait for a deeper discount. Final Fantasy 16 is 30 bucks, but the complete edition is what you want to look at. 40% off for $42. Yes, it's a little bit older, but it's also a Square Enix game that holds up in price in perpetuity, so I wouldn't expect it to get much cheaper than this. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 16. I know it's a super divisive Final Fantasy, which it seems like 13, 15, 16, hell, even Final Fantasy 12 when it came out was super divisive. Maybe that's just what Final Fantasy is gonna be, but I really liked Final Fantasy 16. Thought the narrative was awesome, even though, you know, some of the angles the story went in, I personally wouldn't have. I thought they should have focused a little bit more on the political side of the story of Final Fantasy 16, but they do focus on that, but a lot of that is more of the early portion of the game, and then it gets a little bit crazy towards the latter half. You know, the spectacle of this game is remarkable. The sheer scale of the boss fights, it's remarkable what they were able to manage to do with Final Fantasy 16, and the 2 expansions are quite good. Rising Tides especially, I would say for 42 bucks, this is a pretty decent pickup. Grounded is $19.99, that's got a sequel coming out. Raft, $16.74. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is $21 for the base game. That is getting a third-person update, which I think is super notable, and I think that'll make some people want to check out the game. I played it right when it came out. I don't care for Avatar like that, but I did really like this game from a visual standpoint and a soundtrack standpoint. It's just, you know, I wasn't gonna recommend it at $70. $21, all right, we're cooking a little bit. And that update, I would say just wait for that update to come out in December. Maybe it'll get even cheaper by then, and if at that point it's down to like $15 for the base game, I would actually say it's a really good pickup at that price, especially with the third-person mode coming out. What else we got? Sniper Elite Resistance, $45 on that. Yeah, that's gonna be a no moss for me. Fallout 4, $7.99. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is $24.49. Call of Duty World War II Gold Edition is set in 1979. These games just hold up in price forever. Sonic X Shadow Generations Digital Deluxe is $36. That does have the DLC. That's actually a pretty cool level, but it's super short, but that's to be expected. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is $15. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Complete Edition is $35. Look, I have a vehement hatred towards Assassin's Creed Valhalla for a variety of reasons. I think the main character is an absolute charisma vacuum and one of the worst main characters in gaming history. I was about to say in Assassin's Creed history, but no. In Assassin's Creed history, Ivor is without a doubt the worst main character. Like, people want to complain about Yasuke and Naoya and Shadows. Bro, Ivor is the biggest charisma vacuum I think I've ever seen in gaming, and I think it's accentuated even more because you're stuck with this sucker for like 50 hours minimum. No, 50 hours. You can't beat this game in 50 hours. You're stuck with this charisma vacuum for 100 hours minimum. I actually think Valhalla is a decent time if you, like, mute the game and listen to a podcast the whole time, and, you know, I think that's the best way to play the game. But that's just my 2 cents. I know people like Valhalla. Look, I like this setting a lot. I love Vikings and things of that nature, but my god, if you're gonna make me stuck in a game for 100 hours, you gotta have a good lead protagonist like Arthur in Red Dead Redemption 2. Ivor is a sucker, and I'm the sucker for playing this game for so long, but I digress. $15 for that, $35 for the Complete Edition. Doom Eternal is $9.99. Look, a lot of people like Doom Eternal better than Dark Ages. If you haven't played any Doom game, pick up 2016, pick up Eternal. Those are the games you want to pick up for now, and then, you know, down the line when Dark Ages gets cheaper, pick it up then. But certainly, Eternal's a great time. A little bit more chaotic, for sure, than Dark Ages. And Dark Ages has its chaos to it, and I love some of the aspects of Dark Ages. You can't go wrong with gigantic mechs and things of that nature for me, and dragons and all this, but, you know, Eternal had a level of chaos that I don't think Dark Ages has, but I actually like that about Dark Ages as well. They're kind of different experiences, and I do appreciate that. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, $9.99 on this, no-brainer. I glazed Witcher 3 for like a decade. I'll continue glazing it if we get a 2026 expansion for the game, even more better, but hey, it's the Complete Edition for now. You get Blood and Wine, you get Hearts of Stone, and then you get the PS5 upgrade as well, and it runs pretty good on the PS5, and it's a great game. Definitely recommend that. It would be great if we got a Witcher 2 port at some point. I get Witcher 1 is getting a ground-up remake, but a Witcher 2 port, I think people would be all over that. And it released on the Xbox 360. They can figure out how to port it, upgrade it a little bit. I think people would definitely be into that, but I digress. New World Eternum, $36 for the base game. Deluxe Edition is $48. Horizon Forbidden West. Remember to buy the PS4 copy of this game. It gets you the PS5 upgrade. I believe if you're on the console itself, it locks you to buying the PS5 copy only. Don't quote me on any of this. It's such dumb stuff because what happened was Forbidden West was scheduled to be a launch window title for the PlayStation 5 when it initially came out. All of the launch window games were supposed to have free upgrades. It got delayed out of the launch window, and then all of a sudden it became a $70 game and no free upgrade was available. People bugged out, and then Sony went back and were like, alright, we're gonna give you guys the upgrade for free, but the game is still being sold at $70 initially, you know, when the game came out. So it was really confusing, but if you got the PS4 copy, you would get the PS5 upgrade. I digress. Get the PS4 copy. I really like Forbidden West. It's an absolute technical showcase on the PS5 Pro, by the way, which is crazy because it is a cross-gen game. Honestly, it's kind of a technical showcase on the PS4 as well, given they got this game to run at 30 frames per second on the PS4, which is remarkable given, you know, the animations and things in this game are insane. It's a significant visual improvement upon Zero Dawn. I think people don't realize that a lot of the times because you heard a lot of that when Zero Dawn was getting a remaster, where it's like, okay, yeah, the game didn't need a remaster, but Forbidden West was a significantly better looking looking game than Zero Dawn, and the remaster almost brings it in line with Forbidden West. Not quite to that level, but yeah, Forbidden West is great. I thought the narrative got a little bit crazy and not really my cup of tea. We'll see where Game 3 goes, but I think it's a great time, and there's a lot of content to it. I know a lot of people are down on Horizon. Horizon's actually one of my favorite PlayStation IPs, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to Horizon 3. If that comes out, hopefully in 2027, that would be 5 years after. But who knows? Guerrilla's got a live service it up, so we'll see about that. Silent Hill 2 Deluxe Edition, $40. Get the base game. The Deluxe Edition was sold with meme stuff for fake early access. What else we got? Skyrim Anniversary, $16.49 on that. Civ 7 Deluxe is $85. UFC 5, $35. Assassin's Creed Legendary Collection, $40 on that. That's like a bunch of Assassin's Creed games, but it's all the base games. You don't get any DLC. So if they actually made like an Assassin's Creed, the Super Duper Collection, and it was like, you know, whatever, discounted for $80, and you get like the gold edition of everything, or maybe $80 a little bit. Let's say discounted for 67 to 65. Let's say $65 and you get the gold edition, complete edition of everything. I actually think that would be a great pickup. But nonetheless, $40 for that. AC Odyssey, $12. AC Odyssey Ultimate Edition is $24. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, $16 in that. I've been grinding Pro Skater recently, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, Pro Skater's a good time to kind of check out and do some cool tricks, wipe out, have a good time. Pro Skater 3 and 4 just came out, but that's $50, so a lot of you guys ain't gonna be trying to spend that. Dragon's Dogma 2, $30 on that. By the way, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, $19.99 for the cross-gen edition if you want the PS5 copy, so keep that in mind. Dragon's Dogma 2, $30. I wasn't crazy about Dogma 2, but I know a lot of people that did really love it. Really seemed to be a love-or-hate kind of game. For $29.39, not a bad price, but yeah. 34% off for $39.59 is Until Dawn. Yeah, that's still way too expensive. I can't believe that released at $60. Like, what are we doing here? But, you know, I liked Until Dawn. That's a game you buy for like 10-15 bucks at this point. Like, come on now. Division 2 Gold Edition, $24. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, $42. I really enjoyed Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I know a lot of people viewed it as straight filler, but, yo, filler with Majima helming it, it's a good time. It's a good time. I had a good time with it. And I would say for $42, it's not a terrible pickup. Especially, again, that's for the longtime fans. If you like Majima, like, you're gonna enjoy the game, but don't expect something that's super consequential to the story. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, $19.79 on that. Good platformer, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, the Arcade Classics, $29.99 for that. I mean, that collection is awesome. MVC2 is goated. Dead Island 2 Ultimate Edition for $21. Not a bad deal on that with the DLC. Dead Island 2, the base game, is available on Plus Extra, but yeah, you get the DLC there as well. Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, $14.99 on that. I mean, nobody was finna spend $80 on Outer Worlds 2, and I don't think people are all too excited to spend $70 on it. I think that game is not gonna do as well. I really do believe they did some damage to the perception of that game, but we'll see. I've been wrong before, but yeah, Spacer's Choice, $14.99. I think that's a good pickup. You get the DLC, you get the base game, and that's probably in line with the price point I'd pay for Outer Worlds. Battlefield 1 is $5. Fatal Fury City of Wolves Special Edition. That's not that old of a game. 40% off already for $36, so sizable discount there. Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrush, 50% off for $29.99, and then 55% off if you're a Plus subscriber. You'll get it for $27. Great platformer. Loved it on the Wii back in the day. They had some quality of life improvements on that. That's a good time for sure. Definitely would recommend that. Bully for $9, excuse me. A really good price on that. I mean, Bully's a good time. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition is $25. Look, remember, let Borderlands 3 let you guys know what could happen with Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 has a $130 Super Deluxe Edition or whatever it's called, and that has a lot of content that seems like it's meaningful content, like it's content people would want. Not only that, Borderlands 3 had a second season pass. I could see that happen with Borderlands 4. They could try to get as much mileage as they humanly can out of that game. So I'm just saying, look at what happened with Borderlands 3. You pick it up now for $25 with all the DLC. Yeah, we're 6 years removed from the release of the game, so it took a while, but I'm just saying, you're gonna get you know, you're gonna get sold a lot of additional content when it comes to Borderlands 4. Even if it's not $80, look, it's $70. They're gonna get you with the DLC. They're gonna get you with more DLC. Just keep that in mind when you're jumping into Borderlands 4, if you are. But Borderlands 3, in my opinion, the weakest of the games, and it's still a fun time, all things considered. Like, Borderlands is always gonna be a decent time, I feel like, from a gameplay standpoint, but I really think they faltered on the comedy and the story, but nonetheless, there you go. With that, Battlefield 5, 479 on that. Look, I might be sniffing straight hopium, but I'm excited for Battlefield 6. I thought that trailer that they dropped was absolutely awesome, so hopefully they'll get a good gameplay rollout here in a couple days when they have that. Call of Duty Ghosts Gold Edition 1979, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1,599. I would just jump right into KCD 2. KCD 1 does not have an upgrade, and it's a little bit dated. It's janky on PlayStation. If you're gonna play it, try to play it on PC, mod it, etc., etc. Remnant 2, 1999 on that. Star Wars Outlaws Gold Edition is $55. Look, I don't think Star Wars Outlaws is that bad of a game. I heard that a sequel was talked about, but it has been canceled due to the underwhelming performance of the sales numbers of this. Yeah, maybe don't release $130 deluxe editions and do good games. But again, Outlaws I actually think is a decent game. Not $55 good, but you know, down the line, I'm telling you guys, once it's down to 20, 30 bucks for the Gold Edition, I think a lot of you guys will be pleasantly surprised by it if you go into it with tempered expectations. What else we got? Batman Arkham Knight is $5. Hunt Showdown 1896 is $15. Persona 5 Royal is $21. Riders Republic $9.99 on that. The complete edition is $25. I wish like we would have parity on the price points on PC on PlayStation. Riders Republic is being sold for $4 on Steam literally right now. The complete edition is 15 bucks here. It's $9.99 and $25, which is a bummer, but I guess the PC players hate Ubisoft a little bit more than the console players, so they could get away with a little bit more on consoles. At least that's what I'm getting at it. Devil May Cry HD Collection and 4 Special Edition Bundle, $14.84. They really got to remake Devil May Cry 1. I think, you know, just doing a simple remake on that game, quality of life improvements, it would do really, really well. But nonetheless, I love DMC from a gameplay standpoint. Narratively, never really hooked me like it did a lot of people, but you might really vibe with it from a storytelling standpoint. $14.84 for that. For a little bit more dated action games, I do think it's a decent pickup. Planet Coaster 2, $35. Atelier Yumiya, the deluxe editions of that is on sale. I would wait for that to get cheaper. Just a little bit too pricey for my liking. Red Dead 1 and 2, $45 on that. Essentially, you're paying $15 for Red Dead 2. $30 for Red Dead 1. I mean, those games are goated, but yeah, that is a hefty price to pay. Until Dawn, the original, is $9.99, and I would just recommend that if you really do want to play it. What else we got? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Deluxe Edition is 70 bucks. That game should be a little bit cheaper at this point, I think, but, you know, it's 30% off. It came out back in October. It's not like it's that old. But yeah, Sparking Zero has fallen off a lot. That's why I kind of want it to be cheaper. Borderlands Legendary Collection, that's Borderlands 1 Remastered, Borderlands 2, and the pre-sequel, and most of the game's DLC, just missing the Tiny Tina DLC for Borderlands 2. That's insane value for the 3 people that don't own any of the Borderlands content, but yeah, definitely pick that up if you are one of those people. It's a great time. Assassin's Creed, the Ezio Collection, $11.99 on that. I'm actually working my way through the Ezio trilogy right now. I just beat Assassin's Creed 2. Taking a little bit of a break, but I want to beat Assassin's Creed Brotherhood before Mafia comes out, and then hopefully I'll fit in Revelations at some point as well before the end of the year. But yeah, these games are awesome, man. They show their age for sure, but they are still awesome. Ezio, like, I just talked about how Ivor is like such a charisma vacuum, but man, you want to talk about a charisma machine? That's what Ezio is. Ezio is one of the most likable characters in all of gaming, and happy he got his trilogy, and yeah, his story is great. They're gonna remake AC4. I feel like they should remake AC2. Like, that's the AC I think really should get a remake, but maybe AC4 is from a standpoint of, if you remake AC2, you might be committing yourself to remaking the entire trilogy. AC4 is kind of a, you know, it's a one and done. Edward only got one game, even though he's a charisma machine as well, and it has a lot more content, so maybe it's more in line with expectations these days. But man, I would love an AC2 remake from the ground up at some point as well. I think that would do incredibly well. Fantasia Neo Dimension, $32.49 on that, 35% off. I like Fantasia Neo Dimension. It's not gonna be for everyone. It is a upgraded release of a mobile RPG, so keep that in mind, but it's a really well done game. Art style is great, soundtrack is great, story is fine. It's not the best JRPG story I've experienced, but it's pretty good, and yeah, it can get insanely challenging. Keep that in mind. It can get brutally difficult, so yeah, $32.49 on that. Sonic Frontiers is $18, and I think I'm gonna round out the video here, given that we're hitting 25 minutes. Guardians of the Galaxy, by the way, $9. Gotta get that, and Guardians of the Galaxy is great. But yeah, a lot of great deals rotating in. Check them out for yourself. I know I went on a tangent on some of those games, but whatever. We do our breakdowns of all the unders and everything like that. This is just, you know, giving you guys a heads up that it's live, and me kind of going on a tangent on the games that I see. And yeah, if you're not into it, look, we got the deals under 5, 10, all that coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.